All right. Can you guys hear me okay? Let me do a quick. All right. Can you guys hear me? All right. Can you guys hear me? Yep. Okay. All right, guys. So I know that I said that I'm not going to react to this guy anymore, but I honestly want to have an open conversation with this guy because I think honestly this guy could do it. And before I play, I want this guy to know, number one, that my intentions are, if you are going to talk to me, my intentions are going to be very, very simple. I just want to know um, certain things on why you stand the way you stand, what made you believe or turn to the way that you are, and um, if there is any proof or evidence that I can give you that possibly or potentially could change your mind into what you um, are led to allegedly believe about our president right now. Um, I'm not here to try to change your mind into believing and swapping sides, but whatever I can give you, I hope that you would be able to have a civil conversation with me, sit down and be able to make a decision on your own and understand where we come from and maybe be able to have collective thoughts with a actual Trump supporter who knows a little bit more about politics than some of the people that you allegedly argue with on TikTok, because some of the people on TikTok that I assume you argue with are not very good with politics and don't know about certain things that you are talking about. And I want you to be able to have a good conversation. And I know you have been looking for one, and I'm willing to have that open dialogue. But if you are willing to come and have that dialogue with me, I want to set not only a few ground rules, but we must be respectful, no name calling, and um, also on top of that, we just stick to facts and not go on tangent. So, but I'm going to react to his video. I'm not going to show it, but it sounds like he might be having a little bit of mercy and grace. But I'm going to give you my opinion into what I think on whether or not I feel that way. Um, I'm not going to be very, I'm not going to be harsh in any way, shape, or form towards him because he does not deserve it. He has his right to his opinions just as much as I have my right to my opinion and my belief. And that's, again, what America is all about, is having our rights and our opinions and our belief. And he should as well have his. So let's get into the video.
I thought it would be easier the more I talked about leaving MAGA, being a 3-time Trump voter. But I have to be completely honest with you that it's not getting easier.
So let me give you some context into what is going on. Right now, he is reacting to a video of a lady talking about leaving Trump, obviously, the MAGA fan base or the MAGA base. And which again is her choice, and that's totally completely fine. we don't have a problem with anyone leaving the MAGA base. That's completely fine. But if you do so, the only thing that we do want to ensure is that if you're leaving, you're not just leaving because you're leaving because of what the alleged media has told you and you're believing the lies and that's why you're leaving because of what you allegedly hear the media telling you or other people telling you about the president, and that's the ultimate final decision, and that's why you're making that ultimate final decision. That shouldn't be the ultimate final decision. It should be based on you look up facts from both sides, you look at it fairly and evenly, and you are impartial, and you find an impartial, biased news source from both sides, and you looked to see what both sides are saying. Yes, you know that both sides are going to have a spinning twist into narratives because that's what they do. But you try to make your own decision accordingly as to what you feel is right for you and what is your decision based on how, when that time, or if you choose to leave, is based only on you want to leave because if there is factual evidence or alleged evidence that is proven that something is wrong or it is happening with the alleged MAGA base, then show it and prove it. Don't just say, I'm leaving MAGA because, well, this, and this is happening, and not show us that this is happening without proof. Otherwise, it's not worth talking about. It's going to make you look silly. You don't want to do that.
And it actually feels like it's getting more difficult because I'm gaining more empathy. And I don't think people really realize how counterintuitive.
So I kind of want to ask, because I don't know where she's getting empathy from. And I can only imagine she's probably not getting a lot of empathy from the left or the Democrats or the progressive or people that are most likely the anti-Trumpers. Because from what I have seen and experienced myself with a lot of the anti-Trumpers, they do not give us sympathy, empathy, and a lot of care. They have a lot of emotions, and they are very emotional, and they don't care to show any other emotion but anger, and a lot of that is not right, but that's them. And I think that does say a lot towards the left, the radical left. I can believe that she'll more than likely get empathy from people that are probably impartial or middle ground, that are maybe people that possibly were not part of the voting politics genre, or they were like, whatever, we don't care. So I can only guess and assume that could be it.
Hate that I receive when you can take one look at my page and see that I am doing the work.
She said she's allegedly getting a lot of hate. Now, the thing that I do want to emphasize here is that I can only guess which side is probably most likely giving her the biggest hate. And it's probably not MAGA base. It's probably more than likely the left, the radical left, the Democrats, the progressives, the socialists, the liberals, the people that are the intolerant. the people that claim they're tolerant. And when we talk about the intolerant, it's not just, oh, owning the libtards and, oh, let's, you know, make fun of them and blah, blah, like this and that and the other. No, we're proving and showing that every time we talk about them and say, yes, this is what they are doing. Yes, this is how consistent they are with being intolerant and their hate filled and the rhetoric, and how they every time do not want to talk to us, but every time we try to have a dialogue with them, they shut us down. And this is why I'm opening the dialogue with Paul here by telling Paul, if you're willing to talk to me, I'm willing to have that dialogue, because Paul has challenged anyone before to have that dialogue. And I'm willing to offer that dialogue with him. I'm willing to have that conversation as long as he does not get nasty. I will not get nasty. I will be just as nice as if he is nice. We're okay to have a conversation. That's what we need to have, is a conversation. We don't need to be nasty. But when you see what happens when the one side always gets nasty, that always proves what we've always been talking about, and what always that one thing that MAGA has always been right about. You cannot have a conversation with the radical left, the Democrats, the progressives, because they don't want to have that conversation, because they try to shut you down like that, because they're not just intolerant, but because they don't want to listen anymore. They would rather allegedly use violence or start screaming at you. And that's not how we should have our differences settled, and figuring out, well, why do you believe in what you believe in? I want to figure out why Paul believes in what he believes in. I really do. And I'm sure Paul would like to know why I believe in what I believe in. But we can talk it out. But if we're willing to have a conversation without alleged violence or using foul language, and have a civil discourse with each other, I think that's the most civilized way to handle it. And that is a way to show progress. And that's what we need to do, is show progress. That is how you make progress.
There are two type of people that support Trump.
Okay, and what are they?
There is the hardcore racist.
Ooh, okay. Now, I'm going to disagree with you, Paul, for two reasons. Number one, the word racist has run its course out. And number two, you will probably not like this one, but I'm going to just lay it to you flat out, straight out, and lay my cards out here. You can't judge people if you don't know them well enough. So by judging somebody just by how they vote and alleging that they're racist by how they vote, what does that supposedly make you? A hypocrite, right? So if you want to show that you're a libertarian party and you're tolerant and that you're willing to have a discussion, then don't throw that hypocritism out towards people by calling them racist. And again, I'm going to emphasize this. Calling us a racist, we really don't care anymore. It really does not hurt our feelings. It does not make us feel in any sort of particular way. we just laugh at it because that's what we have been called for a long time because of how we voted. And that's fine. You can feel that way about us, and that's okay. No hard feelings on my side. But I'm going to be honest with you, that's just kind of bad form on your part, in my opinion.
Trailer park, white trash, inbred, 6 teeth, typical white supremacist, white male patriarch.
Oh, okay. So you did a lot of word salad there by, first of all, saying white trailer trash. Again, prejudgment when you don't know if all of us MAGA do or do not live in a trailer. So you're already prejudging us because you don't know whether or not we all live in a trailer or not. And to assume that, again, kind of makes you a hypocrite. And that's not good on your part. And you shouldn't be doing that. The other part of this is all of those things that you just said by also calling us a 3-tooth inbred. Okay. You want to talk about inbred. When you want to start talking about inbredness, you might want to be very careful with that because there may or may not be certain people out there. Because if you look on the internet, there are families way out south, not here in Tennessee, but way in like other parts of the South. But there may or may not be people in certain parts of the South that are actually from a inbred family, possibly because of alleged rape from a family member, or because they have a alleged disability and their face is deformed or formed a different way, and so that kind of makes them allegedly look different than you and I. And so your judgment right there, again, is not very nice and very harsh and bitter, because that's kind of almost allegedly on the borderline of making fun of somebody with a disability. And they can't help who they are. Just like you can't help how you look or how I look. I can't help it. We both can't help it. So you, again, want to kind of stay away from that area of being that prejudiced towards people. And again, I know you're trying to do that to insult us because, of course, yeah, you're going to see me with the rebel flag, and I know exactly where you're going to go with that one. Oh, yep, exactly. Conservatives, inbred, 3-tooth trailer trash. He probably F's his cousin or his sister. Well, I hate to tell you this, but I, number one, don't have a sister. And number two, I don't have a female cousin. And if I did, I would never inbred with them. I would rather jump off a cliff than do that. Thank you. Metaphorically. I don't do that kind of nasty stuff. This isn't Alabama, buddy. And no offense to anyone in Alabama. But this ain't Sweet Home Alabama. I'm in Tennessee. We don't do that stuff. That stuff here in Tennessee is illegal. They'd throw your ass in jail for that shit here. So, please, stop with the word salad trying to patronize us and use all of these very bad form of calling us certain names. We know what you're trying to say, but you don't really want to say it because it might make you sound even worse. Type words and just be kind a little bit more and try to find different ways to express yourself.
Voter. And then you have people like her.
Okay, well, which one is she then?
That have been lied to by right-wing propaganda and indoctrinated by the white Christian church.
Oh. Okay. See, here's the thing. I'm a white male, and I don't believe Jesus was white. Let me just get this to you straight up. Jesus was Middle Eastern, and I know that because whether you read the New International Version Bible or you read the King James Version Bible, Jesus was from Jerusalem, or he was born in Bethlehem. So he was Middle Eastern, right? He wasn't white. So we all know that. So I don't know what your argument is. They're trying to allege that every supposed Christian thinks that Jesus was white, but that's not true. And we know that. We know that's not true.
Don't leave room for people to change, then this country is doomed.
A little empathy and a little sympathy. Now, I mean, I'm going to be honest here because I do kind of question this a little bit because of his alleged previous videos. Kind of leaves a little bit of room for me to question if he's really, really, truly doing this because he is maybe moving forward a little bit as a human being and trying to open himself up a little bit more to being not a pacifist, but trying to be more open-minded to understanding that it's okay to forgive and forget. Or the other thought of this is maybe just allegedly because she's a woman, not trying to be misogynistic here, and that's maybe the only alleged reason. And if it was a supposed or purported or an alleged man, then it would be opposite. He would allegedly, maybe or maybe not, I would hope not, but would he treat a male that left the MAGA movement any differently? I again would hope not, but and if anyone leaves MAGA, that's on their own choice. But he has his own reasons for doing what he does right now, and that's fine. But again, because of his alleged videos that he has made in the past and some a little bit in the present, or not present, but in the past, kind of does leave a little bit of room, not only for me to question, but to feel a little bit like this could be very ambiguously questionable into his intentions.
You cannot scream from the rooftops, change, this is wrong, and then when they change, you still demonize them and kick. while they're down.
Okay, you're right. I agree with that. You can't do that. You are right. But my only I do want to say certain things, like, then if you believe that now, then my question is, what changed from before to now? What allegedly made you change now, Paul? What made you change? What made you decide to be a better person? Was it God moved your heart, or was it, again, because maybe she just is a woman and that's maybe it? And if it was a dude and the role was reversed, it would be a little bit differently. What made you want to change from the past you to now you? And the other question would be, are you going to continue to be this way, to be this change, and be this empathetic and this sympathetic to these people? Because, again, your actions and your past have spoken very loudly about you. But I'm not going to demonize you for it. But I do kind of want to emphasize that we all have taken note and seen it. And we understand that it is good that you hopefully have changed. And I mean, we appreciate that change. That would be great if you change. But are you going to just do it one time and then tomorrow allegedly go back and yell at us? Or no? Because we need to, know what is going on here. Because I'm a little Confucius.
That's not the way to change this country. I don't care who she votes for, just not him.
You say you don't care for who she votes for, but just not him. Okay. Well, then that still kind of means you do kind of care. Allegedly, a little bit. There's a little bit of care in there. It's just you're starting to let a little bit go, purportedly, or supposedly, which is fine. I mean, we're fine with it. Don't get us wrong. We don't have a problem with letting it be the way it is and you deciding to be nice all of a sudden. I'm happy that you're doing this, if it's true. But let's be honest, you kind of did demonize people and allegedly attack people verbally, allegedly, in not a very nice way, and say allegedly not very nice things in your past. So,
In 2016, I voted for him.
oh, so you did vote for him. Okay. So there's something we can kind of figured about you. I had a feeling you kind of did vote for him at some point in time in your life.
It The white evangelical church growing up in a Baptist church makes you think that
So I'm starting to really understand Paul a little bit more. And I'm not gonna go too much into it. He's gone through pain in his life with personal things through childhood. So alleged childhood trauma and whatnot. And everything is kind of leading up to now this. So I feel like this is kind of not anticlimactic, but it's him telling the story. But is he telling the truth? We don't know. He could be allegedly just saying things because anybody on YouTube can just say random ass shit. But I'm going to take his word for it until I know otherwise. But it, from what I'm understanding of more of Paul of and grasping more of hearing a lot of from past things I've heard from him to now, it is making sense maybe a little bit as to why some of these alleged anger and lash outs may be allegedly more frequent, possibly.
abortion is the number one issue.
Well, okay. Let's talk about it, Paul. So, abortion is not good. Allegedly unaliving unborn children is not good. That is not good. Now, the Bible doesn't use the word abortion because that word was not created back then. But the Bible does talk about murder, and it does talk about how life starts, and it does say in the book of Jeremiah, before I created you, I knew you. So the Bible does talk about these things. Now, in one of your videos, you asked for proof of where is this sin saying that it's unforgivable. Well, I hate to tell you this, but for a lot of Christians, that sin is not something that is the worst sin. It is a bad sin, but it can be forgive. The worst sin in the Bible, if you look, is blasphemy, using God's name in vain. That is the one worst sin. If you look. But yes, murder is wrong. But I believe that if you look in the Bible, that it is a pardonable sin.
And when you have an entire branch of a news agency that
So he was right about it.
filters information and doesn't tell you the truth, like the fascist Fox News.
Oh boy. Okay. Paul, you don't need to call Fox fascist. You can just say Fox News. You can disagree with it without calling them fascist. Come on. We're not trying to belittle people here. I thought you were trying to work on being a little more intolerant.
You don't see
Not-
everything.
Not intolerant, but more tolerant.
Within a month of him being elected, I left the Republican Party.
Interesting. So that tells me possibly maybe you were never really a Republican, or you were a Republican, but you didn't like Trump, which is again fine. Whichever one.
The way that he spoke to people, talked to people, worshipped himself.
Okay. You have your right to feel and believe however you feel and believe. I will disagree with you. Sure, some people will say things he says is not right.
As a person of faith, I was disgusted.
I can say there are, certain things I may not agree with a lot of politicians saying.
And that I was lied to.
What were you lied to about, though, Paul?
Not shown that that's who he was. And that for the people that liked who he was, I was disgusted even more that they called themselves Christians, voting for a man who disrespects women like that.
Well, Paul, I get you're angry with Trump and the allegations against him. But let's also not forget about the alleged purported allegations against Bill Clinton as well, and what he allegedly did too. So, would you say that you would supposedly be disgusted by Bill Clinton's alleged behavior too when he was president? I would. And even Biden's alleged behavior too.
In September before the election, Colin Kaepernick took a knee.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I threw his jersey out.
Wait a minute. You threw his jersey out. I thought you supported it. I thought you supported that. I thought you were for it, though. So I'm confused. Were you for it or were you against it? Because before you said that you were for it and that you disagreed with people that didn't agree with him taking the knee, allegedly. So now I'm a little bit more confused. Maybe I'm wrong here, but in one of your alleged videos, if I remember correctly, you did supposedly say that you were okay with it because you believed that that was his First Amendment right, which, granted, it is his First Amendment right to protest peacefully, which he did peacefully. He didn't cause any alleged violence. He just took a knee peacefully, calmly. So now comes that question that I would like to know. If you do happen to join us on this channel, do you support it? Well, now you support it, but help us not be confused.
ashamed of that.
He sounds like he's about to cry. Now, I can't tell truthfully whether he's really going to cry or if he's got allergies. But I think he is going to cry. It's emotional. I think he really is having, it's not allergies. I think it's emotions. And sure, you probably felt disgusted. A lot of people did. I kind of felt disgusted with it, but at the same time, First Amendment, it was peaceful. He didn't, again, allegedly use violence. He was pretty peaceful about it. Even though I will disagree with it, it was peaceful. So we're seeing the side of Paul that we've never seen before. We're here.
This country in the world, and that a black man taking a knee is somehow disrespectful, you take that internally.
Okay. But now allegedly you're fine with it. You're now supposedly okay with it. Right? Because I'm confused. I'm still kind of confused here. Was it back then that you weren't okay with it? Or is it now you're kind of borderline between you're not okay with it, but you're conflicted? Or now you're okay with it, but you're telling us like back then you're not okay with it? Help us maybe try to understand a little bit.
And I don't think a day's gone by. That I regret that.
You regret what, Paul? What are you regretting here? A man peacefully protested, not using violence. I would say, even though I'm conservative and I will disagree with Colin Kaepernick for what he did, I will disagree with it. I will say legally and constitutionally, he had every right to protest in his right. He had his right to protest. He was peaceful about it. I may not like that he did it. I may not like that he took that knee during the national anthem or whatever. But at the same time, he has that constitutional right there, buddy. That gives him that right to do it.
But at the same time,
he is emotional. He is very emotional right now.
it made me who I am.
It changes. I mean, people can change, Paul. People can change. And here's the thing, Paul. With the fact that you changed, that's fine. It's okay that you changed. But let's be honest though. You don't have to hate Trump supporters. You don't have to allegedly be nasty towards us. You don't have to go at us. You can ask us questions. You can disagree with us. But to allegedly verbally call us names, that's not cool, man. That's not cool.
It put me in front of you.
Well, if it made you do what you do, then I guess that's you, right?
But if people kicked me while I was down, I probably wouldn't be doing this.
But who kicked you while you were down? See, you shouldn't let people who kick you down get to you. It should build you stronger. It should build character. It should build momentum to make you grow more as a content creator, as a person, and as a believer in Christ. If you are a believer in Christ, it should build you stronger.
But there was people around me that had some grace. And trust me, my wife was pissed that I voted for him. Pissed.
Okay. But that's your choice, not hers. You have that right to vote for whoever you want. She can vote for whoever she wants. See, politics should not define your marriage. It shouldn't be the be all end all of the relationship. What it should be about is the relationship between you and your wife should be about that you love each other and that you have, and if you have kids, about your family, your kids, being there for your kids, your family, teaching them what they need to learn about the Christian faith that you so strongly in your heart hold and believe in, that you always talk about. And that's what it should be about, Paul.
And I was too stupid and ignorant to see it.
I wouldn't say you were stupid or ignorant. I would just say you believed in something, and at some point in time your viewpoints changed gradually and slowly to a different view, and you viewed yourself as not a conservative, not as a Democrat, but as a libertarian, which is fine. I know libertarians. That's maybe where I might be going pretty soon too, is libertarian. Or just whatever. I don't know. Who knows where I might go when I get older? I may stay conservative. Who knows? Probably not. I'll probably stay conservative, more than likely. But you changed over time. That's okay. Nobody's holding that against you, dude. Nobody. I'm not holding that against you. Nobody's holding that against you. Nobody's saying you're a bad person for it. We just want you to at least try to do a little bit better and maybe be nicer to people, being more open and understanding people more and why they voted the way they voted.
Of the indoctrination in the evangelical church.
But it's not just the evangelical church. See, that's the thing, is you think that it's always the evangelical church doing this. There's other churches out there doing bad things. There's the alleged Catholics, churches that you've called out for allegedly doing bad things. There's the alleged Jehovah's Witnesses, the Mormons. There are other churches out there that allegedly have things that need to be called out for what they do. Not just one.
You know, the truth is that we're not a great country.
And why is that?
We're not. We are a white supremacist nation.
See, this is where I'm going to disagree with you. Because we never are or have been a white supremacist nation. We had a black president. How is that a white supremacist nation? If this was a white supremacist nation, we would have never had Barack Obama in office. Ever. If that was the alleged case. Barack Obama won 2 terms, by the way. I remind you. 2 terms, my dude. Now, I didn't like Obama. I did not agree with any of his policies. No, it did not have anything to do with his skin color. It had more to do with his policies. If we were just an alleged white supremacist nation, we would have only allegedly had only white presidents. And that's not what we're about. We're about equal opportunities. That's what America is about. Equal opportunities.
And this country has only benefited white people.
Really? How's that, Paul? How's that? How's that? When there are black people out there right now with good jobs, good pay, good benefits, that are not suffering, that have good medical health benefits, their houses have not been redlined. My neighbor, his house has never been redlined, and he's a black person. And he voted for Trump. And he has a hell of a good job. He's got a wife. He's got a kid. He's got a truck. He's got everything he needs. A roof over his head. He's got food. And he goes home after work to be with his family and gives thanks to God and goes to work to his job and does it all over again. And spends the weekend with his family.
Period. And that's what the right wing of this country does. The Make America White Again.
No. That's not what we're about, Paul. We're not about Make America White Again. Paul. Please stop with the anti-whiteism. It's not good. Because that right there is very derogatory towards us white people. And hateful towards us white people. Especially you being white yourself. It's not about just white people. It's about everyone. Okay? I know that you are still thinking that. And I know you will never, ever change. And that's fine if you don't want to change. But what I want to try to get you to maybe understand a little bit here is that if you and I have this dialogue, is that our country, yes, we've had the 3 tiers. Yes, we've had slavery. Yes, we have had all of this shit happen. But look at us now. We've made progress. Wouldn't you agree that we've made progress? Wouldn't you say we've made at least a little bit of progress since way back when? And I'm sure you would probably disagree a lot with it, and that's completely fine. But I just want you to understand that there is progress here. And you can't always look at life as the glass half empty. Because that's kind of a negative way of looking at life. That's a very gloomy, sad way to look at things. And if you keep looking at life that way, it's gonna you'll never be happy. If you want to be happy and at least help.
And they are scaring white people to think that you have to worship flags and symbols.
No. We are not telling people to worship flags or symbols. That is absolutely a misinformation quote and guidance there. And whoever or whatever you've read or been told by information source you've read that has given you that, you might want to stop reading that or watching that, because that is not what we do. The flag represents us as a country, as American country as whole. We have that flag to represent us, we the American people. And we fly it not only to represent us, we the people, but to honor the brave men and women who have fought and died for us to continue to have our rights and our freedom. All of us, not just the white people, but everyone. the blacks, browns, all races that are here in America to have their rights and their freedoms, that are American citizens, that are born here in America, to have their liberty and their freedom not be trampled on by the government and not be stepped on, so that we, the people, can live a good, prosperous life that we want, not only for ourselves, but for our generation, our next generations, next generations, next generation.
But they don't care about the people in this country.
That's not true. We actually do. That right there is absolutely false. We do. To think that would be wrong. Because honestly, Paul, we do care. We care a lot. We just don't care about the people that are hurting American citizens. Metaphorically. We just don't care about them. Because we don't want people that are here hurting American people on American soil to be here. We want people that want to be here to prosper and succeed. But if people are going to be here to allegedly do bad things, they do not deserve to be here. They don't have that right. And they do not deserve the same rights, liberties, and freedoms that we have, that you and I have. And you're going to probably ask me, well, why? Well, I will tell you why. Do you think that if somebody breaks the law, I will use a good example, because you love to use this example a lot. Let's say that somebody allegedly shoots somebody, and then they go to jail. So if somebody allegedly shoots somebody, goes to prison, and then they get out of prison, should they have the alleged right to buy a handgun for hurting somebody, for breaking the law? No, would be your argument, right? Why? Because they allegedly took somebody's life, right? And you would want a well-regulated firearm, right? You would want that firearm to be well-regulated, right? Just like we don't want people to break the law, any law. It can be any law you pick, to be able to come out of prison or wherever, not just prison, but from another country, and be able to do just willy-nilly things and be able to get away with it. They shouldn't be able to do that, right?
Flags and symbols. But they don't care about the people in this country.
Again, that's not true. We do.
I have always believed that most people are inherently good.
If you believe that, then that's good. That's good you believe that. I'm happy you believe that. But I don't believe pedophiles are inherently good.
And I believe that most people are.
Hopefully, except for pedophiles.
One of the things that
Alleged pedophiles.
said that stuck with me was I saw what I supported, but now that I have empathy and I look at the last 10 years,
Okay.
it's devastating her emotionally.
But how do you know whether or not she was allegedly being lied to by the media, by her friends, or her family? How do you not know if that is part of the case, though, Paul? How do you not know that?
You got to let people process that.
Right. And also, the thing is, if you're going to say that, then you have to kind of do the same thing too, Paul, by not allegedly attacking us Trump supporters.
You got to have a little bit of grace.
Again, same thing with you, by not allegedly attacking and going after us for those who still believe in him.
You have to. We're not going to change if we don't do that. Look at my story. I'm falling short.
I think we all have fallen short of God's grace. Let's be honest.
We have to give people some landing space, people.
True. So, again, my question will go back to, are you going to do that now? Or are you going to allegedly go back to what you normally do?
I understand you're pissed off. Trust me. I'm pissed off too because I have a family member that was a victim of assault.
I've known people that were victim of assault.
And 77 million people didn't care about a president that rapes women as a red line.
Okay, here's the thing. Allegedly, purportedly, no victim has come out yet allegedly and has said anything or alleged or purported anything yet. So that's misinformation, and that yet has not been proven true yet.
It's disgusting. And I am pissed and I am livid. We have to be able to call it out. And also be open to people that are actually seeing that they are being unplugged from the matrix.
I wouldn't compare not being a Trump supporter to unplugging to the matrix.
It's like I was. You're told that this country is great.
Right.
And you're realizing that it hasn't been great for everybody except white people.
Again, that's misinformation. Not true.
Person that you told was some great white hero is just a white supremacist and a rapist.
Again, not true, because no victim has come out and pointed and alleged anything towards Trump yet. So that's not true.
And a child molester protector.
Again, no victim has come out and said anything yet. So that's not true. So now you're making alleged false accusations towards Trump, maliciously and facetiously defacing him. I wouldn't do that.
If you don't have a space for people like,
I'd be very careful, because remember, FBI can hear everything we say or do and see everything we do on the internet.
her and for people like me to realize that they effed up then those people are going to end up and they're not going to be part of this system and the process, and they're not going to care because they think that no matter what they do, you're just going to keep beating them down.
But you do happen to allegedly say a lot of nasty things, though, Paul.
You have to have some grace, as pissed off as you are, as pissed off as I am. You have to. If I can change, if she can change, any of us can change. Have a good day.
Just because I still support Trump does not mean that I will agree with everything he says. But he needs to understand that he does need to be a little bit nicer. He does need to move into that part of his life where he needs to stop making videos, alleged videos of just allegedly belittling Trump supporters just because of who we are. And Paul, if you see this video, I want you to know, again, I may not agree with everything you say, but if you're willing to talk to me and have a discussion with me, I'm willing to open it and I'm willing to have it with you. Let me know. Anyway, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see y'all later. Bye, guys.